The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Great Garment Graphics webinar. My name is Andy Curtis. I will be your presenter today on behalf of Transfer Express. Today's topic is called Numbering 101. If this is your first webinar, then welcome. If you are an old pro at this, then thank you for coming back. Today we're going to talk about numbering and all sorts of topics in regards to numbering, a whole bunch of interesting things. Hopefully those of you who have done this a bunch of times will have some new information for you, and for those of you who are new to team numbering, hopefully we can scratch the surface and give you the tools you need to be successful. As always, if you have questions through the webinar, please feel free to type them, and we will do our best to answer them towards the end perhaps, or I'll do my best to answer what I can as I go here. Without further ado, we're going to talk about our topics today, today's agenda. We're going to start off with number basics, what size to order. Believe it or not, there are standards for different sports as far as youth and adult, and football and baseball, all that fun stuff, so we'll kind of talk about those real fast. We'll talk about number application, the right and wrong ways to apply numbers onto jerseys. We're going to talk about numbers on pieces of clip art and how to handle that with the screen print number aspect of things. We're going to talk about custom numbers, which is a fun topic in and of itself. And then at the end, we're going to go over some helpful tools to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to numbering jerseys and such. Before we break into this first screen where we're going to talk about screen printed numbers, though, Nicole, if you would please go ahead and run our polls. We're going to run two polls real quick just so we can get an idea of where everyone's at with their numbering experience. So Nicole, if you want to go ahead and run that first poll.
Okay, the first one is, how many teams do you number in a month?
We're going to give everyone just a minute to go ahead and answer.
Okay, thanks, Andy. We have over 80% that voted. We have 43% that says, I never tried it. 1 out of 10, 48%, and 10 plus was 9%.
Wow, so we have a lot of new people with us, a lot of people who've done it just a couple times, so that's great. Good to hear. And then, Nicole, if you go ahead and run that second poll so we can get an idea of how everyone does their stuff.
Okay, the second poll is, what type of numbers do you use most often?
Again, we'll give everyone just a minute to go ahead and answer this one.
Okay, we do have our results. We have 46% that use film die cuts, 33% that use screen printed transfers, 8% for direct screen, and 13% that uses other.
Well, thank you, Nicole, for running those for us, and thank you, everyone, for answering. It sounds like we have a really great selection of just about everything today, so I'm looking forward to giving you guys information about all of this. For those of you that answer on the first poll that you've never tried doing numbers before, team numbers, I hope that today I can give you the tools that you need to be successful and to be able to take these kind of orders in the future. And then for those of you who have not tried using screen printed transfer numbers, hopefully you'll see the benefits and the pros and cons and all that stuff today. We'll talk about all that fun stuff. And as I mentioned before, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them as we go, and I'll do my best to get to them. And at the end, if we do have time at the end of the webinar, we'll take some time to answer those questions. In the meantime, though, the first slide we're looking at here is screen printed transfer numbers. What are they exactly? A definition is a screen printed transfer number is a screen printed plastisol ink printed onto release paper. So essentially, a screen printed number is just like any other screen print transfer that you might have gotten from Transfer Express. It's essentially the same thing. The difference is a screen printed number transfer is a number that has been centered onto a piece of paper. It's perfectly centered, making lining up double digits easier. Otherwise, the release paper is very similar. The ink is exactly the same screen printed ink, the same colors that you might have gotten in your other Transfer Express transfers. But what it should be noted is that everything you're going to see today, we're talking about in reference to screen printed numbers. Now, this doesn't mean that some of the information I'm giving you doesn't apply to film numbers or chenille or any other type of number you might be doing out there. So the information I'm giving you is very useful regardless of what type in most circumstances. But specifically through the webinar, I'm going to be referring to screen printed numbers, just so everyone can be clear about that. Now, as promised, I know this is a tad bit small, but about the appropriate sizes to put on what type of jersey. Now, the chart that I have up here is a fantastic reference. What we've done is we've broken it down by sport, and we're just showing you the appropriate sizes for names and for numbers, and the standard locations to put on different jerseys for different sports. Now, we're not going to sit here and talk about each and every one of these right now, but you might notice that we've also broken it down by youth and adult size. And the one thing that stays the same from every sport across the board here is the name size. Whether it's baseball or basketball or hockey or lacrosse or any of these, a standard youth size name is always going to be 2 inches, and a standard adult size name is always going to be 3 inches. Now, again, all of these are just what we consider to be standards or what is standard in the industry. This doesn't mean that you're locked into these. This doesn't mean that these are set in stone. You can always make changes. You can always do things a little bit differently. There will be times when certain size numbers may not be available in certain colors, what have you. You can always make adjustments to these based on what your league or what your team is looking for, or what is standard to them. But just some examples of this. We're talking like baseball, for example. For the front, a youth size number would be 3 inches. Adult size would be 4 inches. For the back, youth size would be 6. For the back, adult size would be 8 inches. So these are all just basic ideas of all of this. Now, you will be able to get a copy of our webinar today in PDF format off of the Transfer Express website. So if you are looking for a copy of this form, you will be able to obtain it that way. Or if not that, if you don't have access to our website for whatever reason, you're welcome to call in here at Transfer Express, and one of our reps would be more than happy to send you a fax of this form. So it's, again, broken down by sport. It's got a lot of really useful information as far as what sport you're dealing with and what size number you should be using. Now we're going to interrupt this regularly scheduled webinar for a short commercial. Transfer Express offers over 12 different styles of numbers to choose from when you order numbers from us, starting with the old standby, our champ numbers, which are a nice plain block, athletic block number. And we offer a whole bunch of other styles, including the edgy new style in the paint, like you see at the bottom corner here. All of the Transfer Express number styles that you see, plus the ones that are not displayed, come in 4, 6, 8, and 10-inch sizes in 1 and 2 color choices. We also offer options for doing 1, 2, 2.5, and 3-inch size numbers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So all of the numbers that you see here are displayed at www.transferexpress.com if you have any other interest in seeing them and the colors they come in. So quite a group of numbers that you see here, quite a lot of different styles that we offer here at Transfer Express. And I know one of the questions we get asked quite often, and I'll just answer that right off the bat, is the most popular style of number. What is the standard? What is the style that I should use if I'm not sure? The answer to that is going to be champ, the number style you see at the top left-hand corner here. We sell quite a few of our champ numbers. They were the first style that we released almost, 10 years ago now. And they are still the most popular style. Below it, the All-Star is the second most popular style. We do sell a lot of the All-Star as well. So if you're not sure what style of number to use, if the team is leaving it up to you or the league is leaving it up to you, Champ and All-Star are the two most common that you will see most of the time. To where the other side, the other column we have here are some of our newer style numbers that are equally as popular. A lot of customers are really excited to see the In the Paint come out, for example. So a lot of really neat styles of numbers, and we're always growing this. This is something that we continue to add to styles and colors every year here at Transfer Express. So now back to our regularly scheduled webinar. There are 3 different ways to buy numbers. Now, and again, these are just how we handle things here at Transfer Express. We offer 5-digit packs being the first way, meaning that if you order a pack of 4s, like you see in the example here, if you order a pack of 4s, there will be 5 number 4s in that pack. So a pack of 1s has 5 number 1s, a pack of 2s has 5 number 2s, and so on. 5-digit packs are useful when you're ordering just a couple packs, maybe even just one team, and the numbers are sort of all over the board, like a 1 and a 12 and a 22 and a 67. For teams like that, the 5-digit packs will be most useful. The second way of ordering is we offer what we call express packs. Some companies will also refer to these as team packs. The express pack will include 15 of the number 1, and then 5 of every other digit, 0 through 9. Essentially, you'll get 60 digits total, and it's enough to generally number one whole team. Again, it's going to completely depend on what numbers your team has chosen. Specifically, if you have a team that's gone 1 to 15, then the express pack will be quite useful. If you have a team that's sort of all over the board with their numbers, you want to make sure that the express pack will include enough of the individual digits before you order it. A lot of times what our customers will do is they will order an express pack and then augment it with a couple extra 5-digit packs. For example, if an express pack is almost perfect, but you've got a couple kids who had some 20s, a 22 and a 21 and a 23 and a 24, then you could order an express pack plus an extra pack of number 2s. So that's always an option as well. You can always mix and match. The third way here is a number kit. A number kit's sort of the big guy, the godfather. The number kit includes 120 of the number 1, 30 of the number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 9 are always the same number, always the same, and then 15 of 0s, 7s, and 8s. So essentially, the number kit's going to get you 315 digits. Now, remember this, is a number kit will number 15 teams that are going 1 to 15. So if you have a league of 15 teams and every team is just going to be 1 through 15, then you simply need one number kit. Now, all the numbers you see in that number kit are all the same style, all the same color, so you can't mix and match in that regard. But again, a number kit can be easily augmented if you have a team that just has an abnormally high number of 3s, for example. You could order a number kit and then 1 or 2 extra packs of number 3s. Our goal here is we've done our best to plan and anticipate for any type of combination you might need depending on what type of team or league situation you're dealing with. So regardless of what you have going on, we'll have some sort of combination to satisfy your needs. And towards the end of the webinar, I'm actually going to show you some tools that we've created to help you figure out which one of these 3 options is best for you. So we're always going to do our best to not only have what you're looking for, but point you in the correct direction. Now here's some other neat numbering tips. And again, the reason we're talking about this part today is because to give you guys a little bit of information, a little bit of background on the topic gives you the edge to be informed when you talk to your customers, whether they be schools or travel leagues, that kind of fun thing. For basketball, you're going to find that the numbers they're going to use are always going to be the digits 0 through 5. This makes it easier so that fouls can be called with one hand. So you'll have 0, 5, 11, 15, 21, 25. Those digits that can be easily called on one hand, being that we have 5 fingers on one hand. So when you're doing basketball numbers, you're going to find that they're always going to be 0 through 5. So in that case, you might not want to go the direction of an express pack or a number kit. You might want to stick with individual packs in that case because you're not going to need 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s. Another neat little piece of information, and again, this is not a written in stone rule, but this is just typically football is numbered based on your position. So if you're a quarterback or a kicker, odds are you're going to have the number 1 through 9. Quarterbacks can also be 10 through 19, along with receivers, tight ends, and kickers. And then running backs and defensive backs will typically be numbers 20 through 49, centers, linebackers 50 through 59, and so forth. So it's interesting to see this. Not a lot of our customers are aware of this. Some people don't know. So it's just an interesting piece of information, a little bit, again, just information you can be armed with so that you have a little bit of knowledge going into quoting or ordering for a league or a team. Now here's another common question we get at Transfer Express. A lot of our customers, and especially those 49% of you that answered you've never tried this, people will generally ask us, how do you position the numbers on the back of your jersey? How do you get those set? And especially depending on what type of number you're using, this can be very difficult. Now, and this topic we're going to talk about right now, this is going to apply to screen printed transfer numbers. This unfortunately isn't going to apply to die cuts or direct screen print or anything like that. When you order screen print transfer numbers from us here at Transfer Express, the numbers are going to come on a pre-spaced piece of paper. That piece of paper is going to be intentionally sized at a certain size, and there's going to be a certain amount of space around each digit so that what you can do, if you have a double-digit number, for example, a 25, you'll simply take the 2 and the 5 and bump the pieces of paper up against each other, like you see in the photograph here that I'm outlining in the bottom right. You simply put those 2 pieces of paper up next to each other, line the corners up. What that's going to do is that certain amount of space that we've put around the number, that's going to make that double-digit number completely spaced. It's going to be properly spaced. It's going to look perfect. Okay? So once you've put your 2 pieces of paper up against each other, the catch is to find the center of the back of your garment. Now, you can find your vertical center by finding the tag. The tag on the back of the garment, or on the inside rather, the tag on the inside of the garment is a perfect example of the middle of the back. So you'll find that tag and draw an imaginary line, such as you see on the left picture here. You'll draw an imaginary line down the center of the back from where you see that tag. Then the horizontal center can be found using the armpits. So find your armpit, or the underarm of the jersey, a line from underarm to underarm. Where those 2 imaginary lines intersect is the center of the back of your jersey. So now you'll take the double digit, or even if it's a single digit, the same will hold true. You'll take your numbers and you'll center them based on that center point. Now, if you're using a double-digit number, you'll act as if it's all one piece. Even if it's a 25 or 34, whatever double digits you're using, you'll line those 2 up like we talked about, and then treat them as if they're one sheet, they're one entity together. Now, something that people will generally ask as they're doing this process, you'll have a number 19, for example, any double-digit number with a 1 in it. You're going to discover that the piece of paper that the number 1 comes on is quite a bit smaller than the paper that all the other digits come on. You're still going to put those 2, whether it's an 18 or a 19 or a 21, however the configuration is, you're going to put those two pieces of paper still right next to each other. You're still going to line up the corners just like always, and you're going to treat it as if it's one piece of paper together. You're going to treat that as if it's one thing that you're lining up and centering on the back of that jersey. The same will also hold true if you're doing names also. If you have a express name from us here at Transfer Express, you can do the same thing. You simply have the name lined up on top of the 2 numbers, and you'll find the center and you'll center it all together as if it's all one piece. Now here's a tip too. There are some sports, there are occasions where people will ask you to put numbers on whether it's just to be different or this is the style that the league is looking for. A great tip, you can do numbers on sleeves using a cap press. If you have a hat press, a Hotronics hat press, they are fantastic for that purpose. You simply fit the rounded platen of the hat press into the sleeve and then line the number up that way. Now, numbers on sleeves are going to be smaller, obviously, 1 inch, 2 inch tall, for example. And you'll have noticed earlier when I was mentioning to you what we carry at Transfer Express, we don't necessarily have packs of 2 inch or 1 inch numbers. But what you can easily do is use our player name product, our Express name product. But instead of typing in a player's name onto the Express name product, you can use that to do individual numbers. So by that, using that, you can order 2 inch numbers and then apply them to a sleeve. Now, I don't want anyone to think that you can't do sleeves with a normal press. You absolutely can. It's a little bit more difficult sometimes because you have a lot of shirt hanging off the platen or a lot of fabric that you have to deal with when you're just pressing on a sleeve. So a hat press makes that a heck of a lot easier. There's not so much juxtapositioning and draping fabric all over the place. So a hat press is very useful for that. Now here's another thing that you'll see from time to time. Again, this isn't necessarily common, and it's going to depend on league to league and team to team, but there are times when people will ask you to put numbers under a tail sweep. Now, in the example you're looking at here, we've got a tail sweep. The team name is Stars, and you'll see the girl in the picture here, her number is 3. What we've done is we've put the number under the tail sweep. So we've sort of gone, as you're looking at it, all the way to the right and used the right side of the tail sweep as a point of reference for where to put that number at. Now, when you're in a situation like this where your customer has asked you to do this type of application, the thing to keep in mind is that here at Transfer Express, if you're ordering our goof-proof transfers, like the Stars that you see there, that's one of our goof-proof transfers right out of our catalog, and you're ordering our screen print numbers to go with it, you can apply these at the same time. Our screen printed numbers are goof-proof, just like our transfers out of our catalog, and they can be applied at the same time, 365 degrees for 4 seconds. You simply line up the 2 pieces of paper on the front of the jersey where you want them, press them, and then peel them at the same time. Now, another tip here that another commonly asked question, people will oftentimes find themselves in a situation where they have a jersey that has already been decorated. Maybe the Stars tail sweep that you see here in the picture, maybe that was already on the jersey when the customers brought them to you and asked you to add numbers to it. This is definitely possible. This is not a problem. The catch is you're going to want to make sure your heat press does not touch the already applied screen print transfer, the tail sweep in this case. So what you would end up doing is you would lay your garment flat on the press, you would place your number where you want it to go, but then you're going to need to take a cover sheet, some kind of cover sheet, whether it be a Transfer Express cover sheet, a piece of Teflon paper, craft paper, and cover up that already existing transfer. That way you don't have to worry about the press ruining it. Now, there are times we will all make mistakes where people will try to do that. They'll forget about the cover sheet. And if that does happen, what will end up occurring is you'll melt the transfer that's already on there and cause it to stick to your upper platen. You'll have a little bit of a mess then that you have to clean off. So that's why these cover sheets are very important to remember when you're pressing numbers on a garment that's already got a design on it. Oops. Now, numbers in a piece of clip art. This, as you see in the photograph here, you've got a little boy in a football jersey, and he's got his design on the front of his jersey, but he's also got his number, his individual player number, on the front of his jersey inside a piece of clip art. This is another thing that you'll see leagues do from time to time, whether it's just to be unique or this is just the style they like. It is definitely possible with us here at Transfer Express, and again, it's easy to do. Your first step when you're doing this process, you're going to apply the full front design first. In this case, the example we're looking at is the 2-color Thomasville Thunder, the gold and white transfer there. You're going to apply that transfer first. Once you've applied that football design, you're then going to take your number however you have it, whether it's one of our express names or one of our peel and press numbers, you're going to place that number where you want it on the piece of clip art, and then you're going to cover it with a cover sheet. And again, you're going to want to make sure that all of the football design is covered up. You don't want to see any of that. And you're going to press it all together. Once the press is done, you're going to peel off your cover sheet and peel off your transfer, and then you'll have your number 4 on your football, as you see there. As a side note to everybody listening, I understand that you probably hear some beeping noises in the background. I apologize for that. We do have a forklift operating in a room nearby me, so I apologize if you hear those beeping noises, as a side note. But back to numbers and clip art here. Again, the way to achieve these small numbers, because if you're looking at the picture there, that number 4 is only 2 inches tall, give or take. The best way to do that would be to use our express names. You simply order a 2-inch tall express name, but again, instead of putting the player name inside that 2-inch space, you simply put a number, a 4, a space, a 5, a space, a 6, and then you simply cut it, and there you've got 2-inch numbers. So then, just as a little tip here, if you're using a 1-inch express name, you can fit 8 digits on that line. If you're using a 2-inch express name, you can fit 12 digits. 2.5, you can fit 10, and 3-inch, you can fit 8. And again, express names are always $1.55 per piece when you order them on our website. If you have any questions in regards to using express names and using them as substitute numbers like this, feel free to call our customer service reps here at Transfer Express. We'll be more than happy to explain to you exactly what we mean by that. Now here's another popular topic we get questions on, is numbers on reversible mesh jerseys. Now, the photograph here, the reversible jersey we're showing you is not mesh. It is solid panels. They're not mesh panels. But it is definitely possible, definitely doable to put names and numbers, and even full front designs, like you see in the example, it's possible to put them on reversible mesh jerseys. The one catch when you're doing a reversible mesh jersey is to bear in mind that the transfer will go through the holes of the mesh and stick to whatever is underneath of them. So when you're doing a jersey of that style, you're going to want to make sure you have a piece of Teflon paper, a Teflon sheet. Stahl's ID Direct sells the accessories like Teflon sheets. You'll want to make sure you have one of those. You'll slide it in between the layers of mesh so that when you press that number 12, like in the example, what will happen is the area where the holes in the mesh jersey are, they'll go through and hit the Teflon sheet instead of messing up your press underneath, or perhaps even the fabric of the jersey on the other side. Once you've pressed whatever you're pressing, you'll slide your Teflon sheet out and wipe it off, and then turn the jersey inside out and sort of repeat the same process. You're not going to harm anything. You're not going to have to worry about anything sticking to the press or anything like that. Whatever is on the other side will not be affected. You'll just, again, want to make sure you've got that piece of Teflon paper, that Teflon sheet, to slide in between those layers of mesh. Custom numbers are something that we get requests for, and we hear about quite often here at Transfer Express. Custom numbers are something that are definitely possible. From time to time, you'll have a team come along and ask for, maybe it's a strange 2-color combination. Maybe you have somebody that wants peach-colored numbers or olive-colored numbers, a color that we don't normally stock. Or maybe it's a soccer team that's come to you and said they want something different. They want something edgy. They don't want to look like any other team out there. Well, Transfer Express, we offer these custom numbers in this case. These custom numbers are quite useful for that. You can really do anything you want with our custom numbering system. There's a couple catches, though. Our custom numbers are really cost-effective if you're ordering more than just a single team. If you just need one single team of custom numbers, it's going to be a little bit pricey. The price is based on the quantity of each digit, so how many ones, how many twos, how many threes, and so forth. It's also based on the size of the numbers and then the number of colors. If any of you out there have ordered our screen print transfers from us on a regular basis, anything out of our idea book, for example, the pricing is similar to that, the per piece, per color pricing. For this reason, I can't really give you an example of cost because it's going to depend on that quantity of digits, the size, and the color. So if you have a scenario where you have a customer that is interested in getting custom numbers, make sure when you contact us here at Transfer Express, you have that information, the number of each digit you need, the size, and the number of colors. And then based on that, we can give you an idea of your cost. But these are a fantastic idea if you, for example, if you want to stock your own custom style. Maybe you want to have a distinct style at your shop that you stock. For example, in the photograph here, we've got a little girl, Rossi, whose numbers on the back of her jersey are flaming soccer numbers there. If you want to stock flame numbers of your own at your store, it's just maybe it's something custom that you offer, something to set you aside from your competition. This is your shop's special number. It's great for that. If you order a good quantity of these, they can be just as cheap as stock packs. Again, you're going to need to order more than just for one team, otherwise it won't be practical, the pricing. Now, just to give you an idea of what you can do, just to say you can do whatever you want, that's obviously pretty open-ended. So what we've done here is we're showing you some examples of some 1, 2, and 3 color custom numbers that you can do. At Transfer Express, we offer a whole bunch of different patterns that you can put into designs. Now, normally you could put these patterns into any design out of our idea book, but here we're actually showing you an application for these patterns in our numbering product. You can take our zebra stripe pattern and put into custom numbers. You can put the tiger stripes, the leopard spots. Now, what you can also do custom, as you can see here, you can change the font of the numbers as well. For example, the 56 you're looking at here in the bottom left corner is a font called Old Town, to where the 05 at the top right of the other column here, that's our standard champ numbers. So not only can you change the colors and the pattern of the numbers, but you can also change the styles. Now again, when you're ordering custom numbers, you're not looking at the ability to switch patterns midway through your order. If you're ordering camouflage numbers, then you're ordering camouflage numbers. You can't change that to leopard print midway through. That would be a separate order. So again, if you're interested in these custom numbers, definitely feel free to hit our website and to give our customer service reps a call for further information. Just make sure, like we talked about before, if you're going to do so, make sure you know the number of digits you need, the number of colors you're printing, and then the size of the digit you need. That's the information we're going to need to give you a price quote. So now we've got some really great helpful tools here at Transfer Express to help you figure out exactly what you need. As I mentioned earlier in the webinar, you might remember there's 3 different ways to order numbers from us. There's 5 packs of numbers, there's express packs or team packs, and then kits, numbering kits that have 15 whole teams of numbers. So those options are fantastic, and we have a couple different number calculator tools to help you figure out what's best. Now, the number calculator is accessible from our website, our transferexpress.com website, and there's a couple different number calculators actually. It's one calculator, but there's 4 different ways to do it, and I'm showing you just 2 of the different ways you can figure out numbers here. Now, this first tool is great if you have player names and numbers. This is the first option on the number calculator. What you can do here is, as you can see in the screenshot that I've got, you simply type in the player numbers you need on the left side. Now, if you also need player names, you can type them in here as well, but in the screenshot, I'm showing you an example of somebody who doesn't need player names. They're doing their player names differently, or perhaps they don't even have player names on this particular type of this particular team. They just need player numbers. They've typed in all of their player numbers, and then once you were to type them in, you can hit calculate at the bottom of the screen, and it actually spits out the number of packs you'll need, or the number of express packs you'll need, or the number of kits you could use. So it gives you the 3 different options as well as the prices for those options. So it's going to tell you exactly what you'll need, exactly what you should do to get the most economic bang for your buck there. Now, another interesting tip that some of our customers have done in the past is not only will they type this information out, where they'll type out the player number, player name, player number, player name. After typing it out, they'll actually print out a screenshot of this screen, because it's a great way to organize that information. It's a great way to, if you don't already have it organized, it's a fantastic way to put that all into nice, neat columns for you. So a lot of our customers will, after doing all this typing, will actually go so far as to print the page out. Another neat feature on a number calculator here is that it gives you the ability, and this is, again, this is the second tool on our number calculator, it gives you the ability to figure out how many packs you need if you have something sequential. For example, in the screenshot you're looking at below, we have 5 teams who start with the number 1 and end with the number 15. You would simply put in the information as you see here, then you would select the style. As you can see, this person has selected All-Star 8-inch white. Once you have put in the information, you'd simply hit calculate here at the bottom, and it again would spit out the information you need. How many individual packs, or how many express packs, or how many kits would you need to do that. So again, you put in the information you need, and our website will spit out what's best for you. Now, the screenshot you're looking at here is an example of the results of our number calculator. After you've typed in the information that we've talked about on the past 2 slides that I've been showing you, after you type in that information, here's the results screen where the number calculator will show you exactly what you should be ordering. So you'll see it's broken it down here. On the left-hand column, you see number. This is the digit we're talking about. Then the next 3 columns are showing you here's how many 5-packs you need, 5-digit packs. Here's how many express packs you would need, or here's how many number kits you need. Once you scroll down to the bottom of these columns, you'll see the price breakdown. So in this example that this person has typed out here, if they were to get 5-digit packs, they would spend $32.55. And that would consist of 21 total packs. If they were to do express packs, they would need 3 total express packs costing them $51.15, or 1 number kit costing them $83. Again, the purpose of this is to show you a breakdown of what's most useful. What do you need to accomplish what you have just typed into the number calculator? So again, our number calculator is a fantastic tool. It's available at transferexpress.com. If you don't have access to transferexpress.com, you're welcome to call our dealer services team, our customer service reps. They'd be happy to help you figure out exactly what to do or direct you to where it's at on our website if perhaps you're not familiar with our website and the tools on our website. So this concludes the webinar. Now, we'll take a moment here, and if there's any questions anybody has, Nicole, if you're still with us, are there any questions we can address here?
Actually, Andy, looks like you did such a great job. We don't have any questions. We just had a couple comments earlier about whether or not they could get the chart where the sizing, and you answered that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's funny that you all asked that. I actually anticipated that being something that was requested. We actually went so far as to print that chart out. We've passed it out to all of our customer service reps here at Transfer Express. And if you're interested in getting a copy of that, a PDF version of this presentation will be available on our website at transferexpress.com. You're welcome to download that PDF version, and the chart will be included in that. Or again, you're welcome to contact our dealer service reps, and we'd be happy to fax you a copy of it. I understand completely. That chart's a fantastic way of organizing all that information, and definitely something all of us need to know if we're going to be numbering sports jerseys. If you have any further questions for us here at Transfer Express, I encourage you to email us at info@transferexpress.com. And absolutely, if you have a chance to go out and read our blog, please do so. Our marketing staff does a fantastic job of updating a couple times a month. There's all sorts of fresh information there. watch videos of our previous webinars and so forth. And definitely give us a call with any further questions. Our phone number there is listed, as well as our fax number. I encourage everyone also to check out the next upcoming Great Garment Graphics webinars. The next webinar in general is October 20th, Corporate Gift Ideas with CAD Prints. That should be a really great presentation. And then our next webinar here at Transfer Express will be next month on November 10th. We'll be doing heat printing best-selling apparel. I'm looking forward to joining you all with that webinar next month. And funny how the beeping in the background has just stopped now that our webinar has concluded. I apologize again to everybody for that beeping if you were hearing that in the background. Otherwise, this will conclude this month's Great Garment Graphics webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us. I appreciate it. And definitely contact us if you have any further questions about team numbering. Thank you everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day.